Hello, folks. Thank you for being here. A lot of old friends here. Good to see you. In case there's any confusion about this, I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King, and we are standing up.
We try to avoid standing behind the podium for obvious reasons, but here we are.
But today we don't have too much choice because we don't have a remote for this setup. So anyway, hello. Thank you very much for being here. We really, really appreciate it. It's really fun for us to share that we've been 50 years teaching pilots, and it's just been a great time.
We're slow learners. We're still doing the same thing after 50 years. And, you know, we had no clue that we were starting anything that was going to last 50 years. We were just trying to make a living. And teaching ground schools was the most fun way we could think of to do it. And we still think it's the most fun way we could think of to do it. So we had been broke in a previous business, and now we're not broke, and we've thought a lot about it. We like not broke a lot better, by the way. And we think the difference is passion. Because when you have a passion for something, you'll keep working harder and longer, and you'll endure through adversity. And so we've had plenty of adversity in 50 years. There's lots of opportunity for it, but we have a passion for the business. We wanted to stay with it.
And we were paging through old photos and came up with this one to put on the slide about our 50th anniversary. John and me in front of the Cessna 340 that we were flying around to our live ground schools at the time. And that photo would have been taken in 1977.
We really look like kids there, but we were actually about 30 years old.
We used to have people, when we would land for fuel somewhere, say, "Who are you flying this airplane for?" People looked at us and looked at the airplane and said, "They don't go together." At least they didn't think we had stolen it. That part's good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So we've had 50 wonderful years of teaching student pilots. And our folks in IT have added this up, and they say we've sold over 600,000 courses. And that sounds an awful lot when you consider the actual pilot population, but of course that's over 50 years, and there's been a lot of movement through the ranks, people training and moving on.
There's only about 600,000 pilots in the country, and so to have sold 600,000 courses means that we've sold virtually everyone. But probably not really, because people come and people go, and we sell multiple courses to the same pilot. So,
but one of the things that's been really fun here, as we've given a couple of talks and meet and greets already, is being introduced to the third generation in the same family that have taken our private pilot course in order to learn to fly. And that's astonishing. It's just... well, it's emotional.
Well, it makes us feel old. We're teaching grandchildren.
Maybe you, but not me.
But we are old enough, or just about old enough, to be President of the United States.
On that happy note, we wanted to talk about the fact that in celebration of our 50 years of teaching particularly student pilots, obviously that's our biggest selling course because everybody starts there.
Let me cover this point before you get there.
Okay.
And we keep a record every year, of course, how many private pilot courses we sell, and then we can go up in the FAA database and look up how many private pilot tests have been given. And we sell, in the last 5 or 6 years, we've sold a number of courses equal to half the private pilots learning to fly. And so it's a scary thought, but if you see an airplane flying by, the odds are about 1 out of 2 that they've taken one of our courses, and that's a scary thought.
Thank you. In celebration of teaching so many private pilots, all of our courses that have to do with private pilot training will be 10% off through the end of 2024.
Not only in celebrating, but to encourage new pilots.
Right. Okay.
All right.
And
then this is really big bragging. I'm sorry about this.
this is what you do when you get to that certain age.
Yeah, when you're old enough to
write
almost
books.
old enough to be president of the United States, you write a book. And our first book is our reflections on why we're still in business after 50 years and not broke. We decided that passion was a big part of it. And this book describes all of this, and it's called Lift, and it's how to start, run, and grow your own business. And it's basically trying to apply what we think we learned. We're not sure we learned it, but what we think we learned, so that other people can do the same thing.
And the other book, Sky Kings, is basically a compilation.
You mispronounced Kings. Go ahead.
Sky Kings is a compilation of the columns that we wrote for 8 or 10 years in Flying Magazine. And we'd like to thank Julie Boatman, who is here with us, who was editor-in-chief of Flying Magazine, for her cooperation and work on helping us put together that compilation and get it published.
And she wrote the foreword for that book.
And for the foreword for it. So we've got some fun things to talk about here. We're not talking just about the past. We're going to talk about some exciting new stuff, and that's going to be Barry that's going to be doing that. So, Barry, it's all yours.
All right. Thank you very much, John. Yeah, I'll watch for that. Well, the topic of my portion of the press release today is to give you some information about new courses from King Schools and what we're doing and how we're looking to the future. And then this is one way. There's many ways that King Schools is looking to the future, but one thing that we found out is that free courses are a great way for new pilots and longtime pilots to reacquaint themselves with King Schools and see what we're doing and what we're doing now and today with high definition video, great in-flight footage, and all of that available free on the internet from a source you can trust. And we think that King Schools is a trustworthy organization, and we wouldn't have been in business for 50 years otherwise. And so when folks are looking for free content available on the internet, they can trust King Schools, and it gives us the opportunity to get our content out there in a very painless way. So we're actually announcing 3 new free courses today, and the first one of those is the Private Pilot Ground Reference Maneuvers course. And this is a course that's taken from our full Private Pilot Maneuvers course. And what we did is we took out one portion of those flying maneuvers, but it happens to be a portion that many pilots have trouble learning. And we want to give them the opportunity to be able to, when they're searching on the internet for how do I do a turn around a point or rectangular patterns or S-turns on a road, that they'll find King Schools there, have a good experience with their learning ground reference maneuvers from us, and then go on and hopefully purchase other courses, such as the full Private Pilot Maneuvers course or the Private Pilot Ground School and Test Prep course. So I had the pleasure of doing this course and spent many days out in Borrego Springs, which is the desert area just to the east of San Diego County. And it just turns out that it's one of the areas in the country that's almost devoid of traffic and has great ground references. It has rectangular patterns, it has big trees in the middle of fields, straight roads, and no traffic. Wow, what a pleasure it was to go out there after teaching students in the San Diego metropolitan area and dealing with noise complaints and all of the things that we have to deal with as flight instructors today, and a lot of traffic with the increase in training. So we had the opportunity to go out and really focus on doing a good job, trying to do a model performance on how to do these maneuvers. And we've made those available for free in the Private Pilot Ground Reference Maneuvers course. So that one is all HD video. We've done a lot of new camera angles outside the airplane, inside the airplane, showing insets of the instrument panel while I'm flying, things such as that. And I wanted to show a little maneuver.
Since we're basically circling around a point to land. But what seems like a very basic and simple maneuver is actually challenging to get just right. You'll be controlling the airplane in an ever-changing environment and maintaining an equal distance from a point while keeping an eye out on your airspeed, altitude, and for other traffic. So let's do some turns around a point, and we'll do these down low at 1,000 feet above the ground. The Airman Certification Standards allows us to begin the maneuver between 600 and 1,000 feet AGL. And we'll set the power to 2,200 RPM, which gives us about 98 knots, which is our maneuvering speed. So now let's do our clearing turns left and right.
You have the ability to go out and just download this course for free and take a look at it and see what you think about what we've done in terms of providing different angles and views. And one of the things that you'll want to know is that everything that we've done in this private pilot ground reference maneuvers course is available in the full course for private pilot maneuvers, and it's also available in the Cessna Sport Private Pilot course as flying previews. So when folks are learning to fly at a Cessna Pilot Center or any flight school that's using the Cessna flight training system, they also have access to these maneuvers shown in the G1000-172, but also alternative views in a steam gauge 172 and also in a light sport aircraft. So they can see different ways to do these maneuvers in different aircraft. So you can download that for free. It's in a press release that you'll be receiving. And this is just an opportunity for me to say that if you didn't receive an invitation to this press conference from John Dowd, who's at the back of the room, then make sure you get him a business card, get him an email address, whatever, and then you'll receive the press release that goes along with it. Okay, so the next one is a YouTube playlist that has been developed by somebody that works for John Dowd. His name is Samuel Golden. And Samuel is just a wonderful, wonderful marketing expert who's doing great things with our search engine optimization, with our pay-per-click advertising and so on. But he's also a very passionate pilot. And he developed a passion for explaining to prospective pilots how to go through the process of becoming a pilot. It's sometimes confusing. Folks don't know where to start. They don't know what the path is going to look like, how to make the important choices along the way of instructors, flight schools, and so on. And Samuel's just done a fantastic job of laying out the process in a YouTube video series. So we're thrilled to have him jump in and take that on. And Samuel is an interesting guy because he was actually named one of the top 40 under 40 last year by NBAA. So he's just a really, really sharp individual, passionate pilot, has a passion for teaching. This is the first time that he's done on-camera video, and he did a wonderful job of it. So we've got 5 episodes in the YouTube video series, and the YouTube video series is aptly named How to Become a Pilot. Kind of makes sense. That's exactly what he tells you how to do. So it goes through a whole set. You finally get to episode 5 where you learn to pick the right ground school and save money. And but I wonder what that ground school is. You might be able to guess. But there's a lot more to the whole process that he explains in a very unbiased way. A little bit of bias toward which ground school to choose, as you can imagine. The next course we're announcing, which is also a free course, is the Drone Part 107 Regulations course. And this is also taken from a full course at King Schools and offered for free. So we've taken a rather large lesson out of our drone pilot course and offered it for free so that folks that are out there just looking for information, you know, what are the regulations that govern commercial operations of a drone pilot? They can download and watch this course, and hopefully, once again, they'll appreciate the way that we simplify, clarify, and make it fun to learn those regulations, and we'll go on and purchase the full Part 107 drone pilot course from us. But it's a good chunk of information that's offered for free. I think that the 8 videos that make up that course come out to something like about an hour's worth of education. So hopefully folks will come away from that really with a good understanding of the regulations that govern drone flying. Now, the next thing that I'd like to announce is one that is, I think, just an important step forward for King Schools and Cessna both. And we've got Shane Kimmel in the back of the room, who's responsible for Cessna Pilot Centers, and that's absolutely wonderful. And we're thrilled to have him. Shane might ask you to say one or two words for us. If you'd like to come up and just say a couple words on what the Sport Private Pilot course means to the folks taking the Cessna training course.
Hey, everybody. So I'm honestly proud to say that I went through the ground school course, and we do offer that through our Cessna Pilot Centers, through King Schools, and it's a great program. All of our Cessna Pilot Centers across the U.S. use the King Schools course, and that they prepared especially for Cessna, using Cessna products, and I'm glad to have the partnership that we have together. So thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate it. So a big step forward for us was to take the course that we've had for many years, and it was time to go through it and do a revamp. And one of the things that we do at King Schools, and I think that we've done well through the years, is to really listen to our customers and respond to their feedback and make changes to our course based on customer feedback. And in this case, this new edition of the Cessna Sport Private course was really exactly that. We got a lot of feedback from folks that had taken other King Schools courses and were asking for more video content. The Cessna course is primarily a page-based learning process where you go from page to page, and there's text, there's animation, there's graphics, there's some videos, so it's really a mixed media experience. But folks wanted more of John and Martha, and more video, and more opportunity to be able to sit back and really be able to absorb the information when it was taught to them well. So what we did is we added about 130 videos to the course, and went through and really looked at what King video we had available that could supplement the training that was already in the Cessna Sport Private Pilot course. So that amounted to about 130 engaging videos. We also did a page-by-page review. We went through every single page in the course and looked at it and asked ourselves, is it as clear as it possibly can be? Is it simple as it possibly can be? And we went in, we made a lot of changes, and that's something like 2,500 pages of content that we went through one by one. So we did that, and the new course is even more clear, concise, easy to understand, and entertaining, I think, with the videos that are available. So I think that folks that are at flight schools and taking the Cessna flight training system will find that the course really has a new feel to it, and it has a feel that's enhanced by the video and is more clear and simple and easy to use. And the thing that's important to note on this, because I kind of jumped right into the Sport Private Pilot course without too much explanation, and some folks may not understand that it's actually part of the Cessna flight training system that can take a student at a flight school or a college or university all the way from private pilot through CFII with all Part 141 syllabi included. So a flight school can start up, adopt the Cessna flight training system, and instantly have curriculum from the very start all the way through CFII. And of course, the private pilot is the first one. It's the anchor. It's the one that gets them started and involved in that process. So it's the one that we decided to put a lot of attention to and really make that first experience with the Cessna flight training system a great one for the students. So this system, as opposed to the normal King Schools system that you're all probably familiar with, is based on a curriculum. It's not just based on test prep and ground school for private pilot. It has an entire flight training curriculum included as well that's tracked by what we call the course tracking system that's used by flight schools in order to understand where each student is in their training process. So that's what's different about it. We're excited to release this new version of the system. And as Shane said, I think the Cessna is as well. Also here is Amelia, who is the Cessna Pilot Center Manager. And Amelia takes care of all of the CPCs and makes sure that they have what they need and are able to use the curriculum to its maximum. She also provides us great feedback from the customers that she's hearing, and it's all integrated into the process through a great relationship between Cessna and King Schools that's been going on since 1997. So it's been a long time relationship, and we're happy to have it. Okay, another announcement that I'd like to make is that King Schools is doing something really different, something I would have never imagined on my own, and that's why I've got such great people working for me at King Schools. One of those is Brian Huff, who has been around aviation for a long time. He's ran flight schools. He's ran entire university programs. Tremendous amount of experience, but also an innovative speaker, and that's why he's our business development manager. And so he came up with the idea of actually doing a cruise where we would invite flight schools to come onto a cruise with us and provide them with information from just top-level speakers across the industry, and provide them with information that's relevant and important and could change the way they approach their business. And that's what this is in the Aviation and Vision Flight Education Symposium at Sea. So this is coming up soon. It's going to be November 11th through 15th. We've sent out invites to many flight schools. We're open to other flight schools that would like to attend. It's really focused on the flight school businesses themselves and how they can move ahead. And certainly there'll be parts about how they can leverage, especially the Cessna flight training system in order to get ahead. And that's why Cessna was willing to come in with us and be a co-sponsor of this cruise, where on the way sailing to Cozumel, Mexico, they'll get presentation after presentation and learning opportunities, spend a day in Cozumel, and then do the same thing on the way back. Lots of great seminars. And Cessna is going to be sponsoring some of the activities and is a co-sponsor of the event. We're thrilled to try it. So when Brian came to me and said, I want to do a cruise for flight schools, I thought, you got to be kidding. That'd never work. How could we possibly do that? But I looked at him and I said, this is a guy that has big ideas and knows how to make them happen. And I need to open up to what he wants to do and let him go. And I have to say, it's come together very, very nicely. We have many aviation educators signed up, and we're looking forward to it and making it something that we'll continue to do in years to come. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it back to John and Martha, who are going to talk just a little bit about our scholarships that we provide at King Schools. And we've provided hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of scholarships over the last year since our two primary scholarships have been in place. And they're both wonderful scholarships, and I'm going to call John and Martha up to talk about them. Thank you.
While we're getting in position, I want to reassure you that John and Martha aren't actually running the ship.
Good point, John. Although I'm a little disappointed to know that we won't be. Well, our major scholarship program started with Women in Aviation International, and it was it'll be 10 years ago for this next scholarship that's coming up. And we worked with Peggy Chabrian, who is here. Peggy, you want to raise your hand and stand up? And
she's the founder of Women in Aviation.
Founded Women in Aviation. And we worked with her to figure out something that would be helpful and appropriate. And what we came up with is the Martha King Scholarship for Female Flight Instructors, which we've been giving through WAI for this upcoming will be 10 years. And it consists of $5,000 cash for either an initial CFI certificate or additional ratings on it, plus access for free to all the King Schools courses. But it has been just amazing working with the different people that we've been working with. We were so happy with that scholarship that the next year we started working with NAFI in order to give a flight instructor, again, either initial or additional certificates. And we worked initially with Bob Mader, who is now the chairman emeritus of NAFI. You want to raise your hand there, Bob? And you took your hat off. I don't know why.
He was wanting to stand up. Bob, why don't you go ahead and stand up?
Right. You probably recognize him more with his hat on than not. And again, the same $5,000 cash plus the King Schools library. And I can tell you that working with these scholarship winners and staying in touch with them over the years, it really does change people's lives. And it just makes a huge impact on them. This is John and I at WAI this year, 2024, with Jamie Clays, who is the WAI scholarship winner. She's from Alaska. She grew up in Bettles, Alaska. Trivia test, anyone know where Bettles, Alaska is? Aha, there's a few people that do, but that's not fair because you've been up there with us. And it basically grew up at a lodge right around the Arctic Circle.
It's north of the Arctic Circle.
I was wondering that. I thought you might correct me.
It is. I'm
So
clarifying.
It's on the Bettles River, which was used for some transportation, but the main transportation was either dog sleds or airplanes. Jamie is good at both. And airplanes are how you got around, and she is headed for, she has her instructor rating, but she's going to get her an instrument instructor, and she is going to use her instructor privileges to help Native Alaskans get their pilot certificates, their commercial pilot certificates, so that they can stay in Alaska doing charter into all the Native communities for whom an airplane is like the local bus and the local pickup truck. It's going to be, she's a very impressive person.
One of the pleasures of giving away scholarships is that you get to meet and become friends with extraordinary people. And so we've now given away, I don't know how many scholarships total, but we've been important in their lives, and they're important in our lives and for the rest of our lives.
So far to this year, 9 WAI and 8 NAFI, and of course 2024 will add 2 more to that,
and
plus a bunch of others.
The way we choose these scholarship winners is we wind up getting extraordinary people. We want to make sure that they've demonstrated initiative and contribution already, and are they making a contribution to their communities now, and they always are. And then we want to make sure that we can help them, that it's going to make a difference to them. And of course, we want to make sure, we're talking to press here, is it a good story? And Jamie meets all of those. She decided that she, as you are saying, she wanted to help indigenous people learn to fly. And if you grew up as an Athabascan Indian in Bettles, you're stuck to that town. The only way you get around really is by airplane or dog sled. And a dog sled is substantially slower than airplanes. But that's how they get around a lot, is dog sleds. So Jamie wants to help them become pilots, and that opens up the world to them. They can go to Anchorage. Well, you'd say it's really a big project, go to Anchorage in a dog sled. So they become citizens of the world when they weren't before they were citizens of Bethel. And she does that all over Alaska. Bettles. Bethel's another town. She does that all over Alaska, and that's her goal, And of course, the scholarship is going to help her do that because she's going to become a flight instructor and train indigenous kids. I'm done. Thank you.
And our NAFI scholarship winner this year, which we announced at Sun and Fun, is Eric Hagas. He describes himself, and this is very true, as anything but normal. All of our scholarships are. Eric is does a lot of flying with the Civil Air Patrol, and he's a legislative assistant. And I
For a congressman.
well, a senator at this point, started out with a congressman, and I'm pulling a total blank, excuse me, on who he's working for, but has already been helpful to us and other people because of his aviation background, and he was very involved in the writing of the reauthorization bill that recently passed because he understood the nitty-gritty of the nuances of what we were trying to accomplish and what needed to be protected.
I'm trying to remember how many dollars worth of scholarships Women in Aviation has given away. Why don't I ask the founder of WAI, how many dollars in scholarships has Women in Aviation given
Over
away?
$15 million.
And Peggy has an anecdote she loves to tell. That very first conference they had under the umbrella of WAI was in Minneapolis, and their primary sponsor was Northwest Airlines. And Northwest Airlines didn't want to give away cash to students, but they said, we'll give away a type rating for any aircraft we fly. And the winner of the scholarship was introduced to them that evening, and the person from representing Northwest Airlines said, oh, wonderful, glad to have you as our scholarship winner. What aircraft would you like a type rating on? And she stood up and said, the 747.
She's a little petite gal.
Right. A little bit maybe ambitious, but perfectly, I mean, she had her goal and she went for it, and that's fabulous. But Peggy has got rounded up many, many airlines giving type ratings and all kinds of aircraft, as well as people doing scholarships like ours for CFIs, and also people to solo, people to get their private certificate, people to get instrument ratings, all kinds of things like that.
Peggy, it's a privilege to be a part of that program. Thank you for including us.
And I would like to give another shout out here to Bob, just to Bob Mader of NAFI, and talk about the significance that the scholarship has had for them in terms of CFIs, I guess, getting to know NAFI a little bit better through that.
Well, it's very much an honor to have the King's partner with us, and on behalf of Karen Kalashek, our current chair, and all of the members, this is a wonderful opportunity for these, as John and Martha put it, these extraordinary people to come in and be able to give back to the community. Not only that, do they give back to the community, but by meeting them, they give us fresh ideas, some great excitement. I'm avoiding the word vibe, but I'll use it. Some really good vibe that helps energize us and helps us continue on our mission of helping pilots or helping flight instructors and the entire community become better through better flight instruction, and also the give back that is so, so important in society. So thank you, John and Martha. It's an absolute privilege.
Thank you, Bob. It's a great privilege to be associated with NAFI for that.
I want to go back to the CEO of King Schools, Barry Canoodle, and our partner in the business, and he's going to wrap this up.
So the application period for both of those scholarships is open right now. And you can simply go to kingschools.com/scholarship to find out how to apply. And we hope that there'll be many applications. Okay, so I just want to thank everybody for coming. We have a great turnout today. You've all made a special effort here where there's so much going on at AirVenture to come and spend time with us, and we appreciate it very much. Once again, please see John Dowd and ensure that you're on our list for press releases. And you can always go to news.kingschools.com to learn more. Thank you so much.